e-commerce is kind of the hot topic right now with everything. But just a little background on me. So I started off in retail link analytics for Walmart. I did store. I did some analytics for Walgreens. And then Walmart came in and they kind of announced the big boom with e-commerce, how they're wanting to, this big battle, Walmart versus Amazon, right? And so I had this big assortment of store clients that need to get online. So I was one of the first people to get in and start putting thousands of items online, as soon as this was all announced. Started doing e-commerce and it just exploded. Started doing content marketing, so we'll go over that a little bit, and search engine optimization. So I've been doing that for a couple of years, and with Walmart.com, anything e-commerce, the relevancy just changes constantly, so you got to stay ahead of the game. So with anything 6 months ago with Walmart.com e-commerce, it's kind of a little bit expired. So we're all starting fresh. Supplier centers changed 3 or 4 different times. So hopefully today we'll all be on the same page. So, all right. So here's some of the clients I've worked with. Michelin Tires. I've been working with them. We introduced them into Walmart stores last August. With BF Goodrich, put them online. Tires online, it was kind of a hit or miss thing, but it actually took off like crazy. So we've been working on marketing, content marketing, search engine optimization with them. BPI Sports, Milani Cosmetics, Zarbee's, Orgain, Serta, Nutrisystem, Barnes Ingelheim. So we've been working with several different departments, several different suppliers across almost all departments at Walmart.com. All right. So the first thing is we need to understand e-commerce if we're going to be successful in this. So take a look at a little bit of the market share. So currently, 43.5% of the market is owned by Amazon. Surprise, surprise. I know we're in Bentonville. I use Amazon Prime. Okay, I'm not afraid to admit that. eBay 6.8%, Walmart 3.6%. That's up from 2.8%. So they went up a whole percent of market share. 3.6% for Apple, 1.5% Home Depot. So Amazon's kind of got the monopoly on all this right now. So it's kind of an open playing field. Whoever can step it up against Amazon has a good chance. So He-Man, that is my hero as a kid. I loved He-Man. So when we think about Walmart, when I think about it, I think about just powering up. Walmart is preparing for this huge boom in e-commerce and omnichannel. So Walmart's seen quarter one, 63% increase in e-commerce sales. It's pretty intense. Between 2016 and 2017, the assortment at Walmart.com has quadrupled the amount of items. Now it sounds like a lot, but it's still an open playing field. A lot of departments, a lot of categories are kind of scarce. And so now's the time to get in there and ride the massive waves of growth. Acquisitions, Walmart has purchased Jet, Hayneedle, Bonobos, ModCloth, Shoebuy, Moose Jaw, and they're in the talks of acquiring quite a bit more. I think in the last interview, they're saying that there's no plans of stopping acquisitions yet. Probably one of the most important things right now is, when I look at it from the big picture perspective, is the stores becoming fulfillment centers. So if you think about it, you got 5,300 different retail centers. That includes Sam's Clubs, Walmarts, neighborhood markets, and across the US. And you also got Canada International. Walmart is poised to compete with its online rivals even more by shifting these retail spaces to fulfillment centers. So pick up today. The possibilities are endless. They could look into doing delivery. There's so much to Walmart. Walmart's kind of on this path to innovation and using this .com to grow their business, their e-commerce strategy. That now's the time to get in. So here's Walmart's growth. It's all right, right? So quarter one, we saw 63% growth. Quarter two, 60% growth. Those some good numbers. Probably the biggest factor right now is pick up today. So click and collect potential. So right now, I mean, click and collect accounted for 50% of Walmart.com's growth in the first and second quarter, and it's doubled since 2017. So there's 5,000 plus Pickup Today retail centers from Walmart. Saturation, assortment has quadrupled. It's still an open playing field. Now's the time to get in. If you got items, Amazon there's a lot more competition on Amazon. Walmart's got this growth potential, but their assortment's a lot smaller than Amazon, so there's a lot of room for growth. And the consumers. So this is something we really pay attention to when we do anything with e-commerce, with marketing, with the consumers. We focus on the different consumers. So like Walmart. So we're looking at Amazon. The majority of the sales are going to be the coast. So you got the East Coast, the West Coast, big metropolitan areas. Walmart's introducing e-commerce to a whole different type of e-commerce shoppers. People are getting online for the first time and buying. People that are in middle America, blue collar, white collar. I mean, they got a whole different customer base than Amazon, and it's a lot of first time e-commerce buyers. So when I talked about Pickup Today and grocery, this is how we compare to the rest of the world right now in online grocery sales this year. So the top 10 markets. So United States, we're at 1.4%. 1.4% of online groceries with online grocery sales. So we got France at 5.3%, UK at 6.9%. So the potential with Pickup Today and grocery is big. There's going to be a lot of growth here. Okay, so now's the time to get in if you have Pickup Today, grocery, or any items like that. So .com. So when we first think about .com, we think about sales, right? But .com goes a lot deeper than just sales, a lot deeper. And this is where I get, disclaimer, before I went into the business world, I was actually a pastor. So I preached. So I feel like I'm going to be preaching this .com and marketing, what .com's about. I'm going to try to, let you guys out early for lunch, or whatever. I'm not going to try to keep you all here forever. But the first thing that with .com is, rather than sales, it's research. So this is huge, and a lot of people don't understand this. Web rooming and showrooming. The second thing is reach. So we're not confined to a brick and mortar store, right? We've got branding, so your omnipresent visibility information. So, and then convenience for the supplier and the customer, marketing, which we're going to get into, and analytics. All right. So who else set up items on .com so far? Anybody? Lift up high. Don't be ashamed. How many of y'all were successful at it? First time. Okay. Yeah. So compliance is huge. Walmart has a set of standards to get these items set up. So, GTIN, no, check digit, no check digit, image requirements, content. I mean, there's a lot of requirements to be compliant on Walmart.com. I've had multiple questions already. People come up to me asking about works, asking about, images and content. I mean, it's a beast. But once we get compliant, we can go live. So that's first step. Second step is going to be images and content. So once we get all those, the compliant stuff that Walmart wants, we'll need to start with the images and the content. So, so this will be the basic portion of content. So your first image, maybe nutrition facts, ingredients, additional images, and then the basic paragraph description of bullet points that are required by Walmart.com. So enhancement. So this is kind of where my business has kind of led to, is enhancing these SKU pages to be powerful marketing materials. So that's additional images, that's search engine optimization, video content, comparison tables, things that'll draw people in to the SKU pages. And then analyze. So traffic, keywords, buy box, and sales. So we got SEO is kind of the traffic and keywords. Buy box is kind of a big thing. So with the third-party sellers, so you'll see when you go on there, there'll be a little box to buy now or add to cart, and then you'll have the list of the different sellers on there, okay? And so with performing analysis on that and basically staying on top of the buy box, being the person that's listed first. So it's a very tricky thing to do. And then sales analytics. All right. So the best practices, first part, choose the best category and subcategories. So this is the basic portion, step one. So choosing the best category. So I do grocery, I do tires, I do cosmetics, I do tons of different categories for Walmart.com. And it's kind of funny. So I'll take on a supplier and they'll be doing peanut butter, so to speak, okay? And their peanut butter is set up in alcoholic beverages. So they're not able to sell online because Walmart's seeing them as alcoholic beverage seller. I see tires that are in batteries. I see cosmetics that's in grocery. So making sure that we're in the right categories is a huge deal, especially with finding the product. I was looking up mattresses. I work with a mattress company as well. And I found Legos. So I reached out to this company that's selling these Legos. They have their Legos set up in the mattresses. So it's totally, it's very important to pick the best category and subcategories for your items. So channel type, owned versus DSV. Does anybody know what that means? Has anybody had to do that yet? Yeah. So owned, your inventory will be owned by Walmart, shipped through fulfillment center, and DSV you'll be shipping directly to the buyer. So item specs, basic width, height, length, weight, size, shipping dimensions, our favorite, which is vendor pack, warehouse pack quantities. Going through factory ID, basic specs. Variant groupings, so if you have one item that's in various sizes and colors, you'll have, on the Walmart page, you'll have some different options to select sizes on one SKU page. Basic content SEO. Once you get items submitted, you're going to have to go in and put in your paragraph description, your bullet points, a little bit of search engine optimization, some images. Content SEO again. So getting back in there. So once we submit content, you need to make sure that you keep updating that content, keep analyzing that content. So consumer-generated content, which consists of reviews, 5 stars, 4 stars. Word of mouth. People are way more likely to buy if they see reviews and ratings for your items. So promotions and expansions. So if you have a promo going on, if you're expanding your assortment, linking those items, putting that in the content. Hey, you buy this item, try this one. So now we're going to get into the learning. So the first part, research. This is where I get excited. I'm pumped by this. So first, web grooming. Web rooming, not web grooming. So web rooming is does anybody do this? So does anyone go in the store and then you pick up your phone and you look up the item online, look at reviews? Anybody do that? Anybody? Okay. I do that with everything. So I'll be in Walmart on the Amazon site looking at Amazon reviews for the Walmart item I'm about to buy. So web rooming, 78% of consumers say that they have web roomed in the past 12 months. Anytime in Walmart, I'll be looking at lemons. I'll be looking at anything. I'll be looking up and looking at the ratings, reviews, and deciding if I want to buy. Showrooming. So the showrooming is going to be where the customer is going to be going into the store to look at the item prior to buying online. So kind of getting that touch and feel aspect. So for me, being kind of like, I'm super tall. So for my clothing, I'll go online to Amazon, I'll buy my jeans, okay? I got to get a special size, so 30, 32, 36, okay? So before I buy any jeans, I'll go into the store, look at them, try them on, and then I'll order them online to my house. So that way I know what they look like, the way they fit. And so that's kind of the customers that are going to be showrooming. So 72% of customers say they have showroomed in the past 12 months. So mobile devices, Google reported that 82% of shoppers say they consult their phones on purchases they're about to make. So this is kind of where, for me, it gets really important. Billboards. Billboards are up 12%, the price of leasing a billboard, okay? So you see people driving, okay? So when you leave here today, I want you to look at 5 different cars and look at the passengers and see what they're doing. They're not looking at billboards. They're going to be on their phones. 5 out of 5 of the cars you look at, the passengers will be on their phones, okay? So with, and probably 4 out of the 5 drivers as well, unfortunately. So the average millennial, this is some data by Slice that was just released, spends 5 hours a day on their smartphones. 5 hours. That's my generation. I kind of look like a millennial, but like, they 5 hours a day on their smartphones. I mean, it's basically an extension to most people's lives. And so when, if we can focus on, putting this content on there so it shows up on their mobile devices, so when that rather than focusing on different marketing techniques, it can save you a lot of money and it can increase sales quite a bit. So in a nutshell, basically web roomers don't want to pay for delivery. They want instant gratification. So that's a millennial thing, instant. And so rather than buying it, waiting for it to get to their house, they're going to buy it, look it up online, go in the store and buy it so they have it right when they want it. So in showroomers want to have the touch and feel aspect. All right, so the different types of branding and marketing. So Walmart.com is great for sales. E-commerce is great for sales. Like, that's an important piece of it. But if you look at the bigger picture, e-commerce is going to offer just an infinite amount of branding and marketing. So we have search engine optimization, pull and push marketing, which we'll get into, consumer-generated content and content marketing. And we'll get into those and kind of discuss these different branding and marketing techniques that you can use to increase sales and visibility. All right, so content marketing. So content is the king of e-commerce. So the first impression that you have 7 seconds to make an impactful first impression for your Walmart.com items, or for your brand, or for your in-store items that are store-only items that are listed on .com. So the first 7 seconds and 70 words creates the initial first impression to a customer. So in content marketing is probably the best way to get that. And content marketing consists of various amount of things to do. So it's reaching each customer and each consumer on their level. So we're developing content for the person that wants to read bullet points, okay? Scannable headers for somebody that just wants to quickly look through and see what this item's about. Long paragraphs for that type A person that really wants to know every little detail about the item. Video content, multiple images, live interactive tours, ratings and reviews. So content marketing not only will increase sales, but it'll save you a lot of money. So rather than paying a ton of money for a billboard, you can enhance your content for 62% of the price. So you get 3 times many leads through content marketing than traditional marketing. Content marketing costs 62% less than traditional marketing. And 70%, especially millennials, 72% feel they form a relationship through content with things they're about to buy. So they get close to it. They want it even more. So a few stats, 3 times as many leads, cost 62% less, 70% feel closer connection to the product when they better understand it, and 82% of shoppers conduct online research before buying. So if your items are in store, people are looking up on their phones to see what they're about, right? I do it, and it's only getting, especially from my experience, I'll be working with a lot of suppliers that are not, a little bit older than I am. I'm trying to use my words carefully. And they kind of have this, they look down on millennials a little bit and our love for our smartphones and technology. And, but if it weren't for us, y'all wouldn't have iPhones. If it weren't for us, there wouldn't be a lot of, innovations that there are. And we need to make sure that we're reaching out to those shoppers. And 82% of them are researching online on their smartphones, on their computers before buying. SEO to grow. So SEO, so we have the first impression, which is content. So before we put the content on there, we got to get people to that content. SEO is basically the route to get there. So the first impression is to the customer. That's important. The second first impression is to Google or to the search engines. So search engine optimization is going to be the 150 words or 150 that we can use to get Google to grab onto this. So this is broadcasted across the whole wide web. It's an internal search engine. So Walmart's been working on their search engine or their search system for a while. And part of the problem is that suppliers are not providing enough search engine keywords and organic keywords for you to show up in the search listings. So one of the things that you can do to vastly increase your .com sales at a very low cost is search engine optimization. Finding those keywords, implementing them, and then your items will show up. I've had items that were on the 4th, 5th, 6th page on Walmart, or even on Google or Amazon. I have items go up to the first position in 5 to 6 weeks. Because if you're not on the first page, you're irrelevant. And if you're not in the first 3 search results, you don't really count. And so you got to work hard and use search engine optimization to get you to go up the search rankings. So your content, search engine usually include a bunch of different things. So common misspellings, abbreviations. So for one of my, BF Goodrich. People don't like typing that out on Google. They put BFG and then the tire name, or they'll just put for one of the top selling products, the BF Goodrich KO2 tire, they'll put BFG KO2. So in the content, I'm not going to be putting these abbreviations or common misspellings or search words that we find. I was working with a dog bone company for a while, and one of the first things was one of the top search engines to get there was, "Will this kill your dog?" for this dog bone that we were selling, and we didn't want to put that in there, but the search traffic to this dog bone, nylon dog bones, that if it will hurt a dog or if they choke on it, I don't want to put that into the description so the customer's thinking, oh, make them think of that. But it was had a lot of traffic. So what we do is we implemented that under the descriptions, or we name an image. We'll take an image, okay, and we'll name it something different. So it says, is this safe for your dog? Or is it, do dogs choke on this? So we'll take those exact words and alt title an image. So people that are looking up those questions can find that item, even if they're just searching on Google, not just Walmart.com. So, but the content's got to be SEO friendly, but it also needs to be visually appealing. So, including keywords in certain places and titles, being aesthetically pleasing. So to have high quality content that ranks, but is also good to read. Having bullet points that are SEO optimized. Making sure that everything flows nicely. So this is, and I'm going to show you all some results that I've had through SEO, doing some different content marketing. It's pretty intense. So I'd like to, here's a little case study we did, doing SEO and different enhanced content. And you guys can do this. So this is a study that was conducted by us and Walmart and a supplier in January. So we were talking about different IU map pricing, different content, and how we can get more visibility to the Walmart page, to our SKUs, and getting ahead of third-party sellers. And so this test was done in comparison to 10 other retailers, so that were selling 25% or more units per week than Walmart.com was at the time. So the content I created included rich consumer market focused descriptions. So we took those descriptions and we focused them on the Walmart customer. So if you guys have items that are in Amazon, that are in Costco, that are in Walgreens, different suppliers, you got to make sure that that content is focused towards to that customer base. So we've based this on the Walmart type of customer, the Walmart buyer that we've seen. So the descriptions, bullets, Walmart customer. All the content was search engine optimized and maintained. That's key, maintaining your content. Going there every month, looking at what keywords work, what keywords don't work. It's a lot of trial and error. So I'll take a word for an example and I'll throw it into some content, or I'll name an image, alt name an image, something. And if I don't see a lift in sales from that, I might not keep it. I'll take it out and I might put a different search engine term in there. In doing this, you'll start seeing the different trends of Walmart consumers or Amazon customers visiting your pages and what they want to see and what they're searching for to get to your product page. So we added enhanced images and custom banners to make it more visually appealing. And with the search engine, we actually renamed a lot of those after common misspellings, abbreviations. HD video content, which, tons of views. I mean, there's one SKU that we were working with that's got over 1 million views on video content that we uploaded. Interactive product tours where they can go click through and see different aspects about the items. and downloadable PDF and warranty information. So that's kind of just some basic stuff that you can look at. Just from implementing that, we didn't use any paid pay-per-click. We didn't use any Walmart marketing services, none of that, just this. We saw a 4,332% increase in product page views versus the other 10 retailers. 4,332% increase. Just by implementing some basic content, some search engine optimization, some more images, some banners, videos, just stuff that most suppliers already have, that most marketing teams already have. We saw an 80.3% increase in Walmart.com unit sellout from this implementation. And then we saw a 34.7% increase in Walmart store unit sellout from this. And these were not cheap items. These were expensive items. And to see that big of a lift on something that people have to invest into is a pretty big deal. So when you think about e-commerce versus brick and mortar, which I'm sure you guys have heard, e-commerce is going to kill brick and mortar is going to die. It's not, because people want to go into the stores. And so whenever we do stuff on e-commerce, when we get in touch with those showroomers, then people will come into the stores and buy it. So how many people in here wear prescription eyewear? Go ahead and stand up. If you wear prescription eyewear, contacts, anything like that, go ahead and stand up. Very cool, very cool. Awesome. Now about half the population, okay, needs prescription eyewear of some sort, okay? So if you bought that prescription eyewear online, you can stay standing. Everyone else sit down. See that difference? So 4 out of 100 people statistically will buy their eyewear online. The rest go into the stores. So it's a big deal. So this is what I'm talking about when 34.7% of people went to the store and increased their sales because they researched it and looked online. It's the same thing with prescription eyewear. With grocery, with apparel, with almost any category you can use content in your SKU page, not just for sales, but also to increase in-store sales. All right, so the omnichannel. It's a match made in heaven. So this is something that I've been preaching for a long time to a lot of people in Bentonville, is that the omnichannel is a team. So I put Mayweather McGregor. How many of y'all watched the fight? Yeah? McGregor all the way, should have won. But this is kind of way people see the omnichannel. They see it as one versus the other, that one's going to take out the other, that e-commerce is going to rule and reign the retail world. It's not really the case. So brick and mortar and e-commerce are constantly fighting for consumers' attention and dollars. So 94% of all retail sales still take place in the stores. So when I talk about e-commerce and when I try to help people with their assortment, that the younger people that are coming in, young, out of college, millennials, they really come in and they want to focus on e-commerce. Forget the brick and mortar. And I have the complete opposite side too, where there's people that are coming there saying, brick and mortar, brick and mortar, brick and mortar. E-commerce is just a thorn in my side. Let's get them compliant, get them online, and just have fun. What if we get a couple sales? You know what I'm saying? So if you're doing, $2 million, in stores, why wouldn't you want to do 10% of that additionally on .com? Take that $2 million to $2.2 million. Get that visibility up, increase store sales as well. So e-commerce sales are expected to increase annually 17%, reaching $414 billion by 2018. Actually, I read some stats. I wasn't able to verify them, but it's very close to already passing that. Very close. There are $414 billion of e-commerce sales. So, got this little video here. This is what happens when your e-commerce and your store are not aligned. It's just a double KO. You just kind of knock yourself out. So when you have them together, it works in harmony. So it's a harmonious union. So look at this. So this is an example of what happens when you have your e-commerce and your stores, basically omnichannel. They're aligned. You take care of your customer. Just like that. So brick and mortar e-commerce together, 2 out of 3 customers have made an omnichannel purchase in the past 6 months. 3 out of 4 customers who find online information useful are more likely to visit stores. This creates repeat customers. Digital interactions influence 36 of every dollar spent in the retail store, about $1.1 trillion. 22% of customers spend more More of the stores, if digital channels are involved in the process. So the web influences 59% of retail purchases by 2017, and 55% of shoppers who buy online would prefer to purchase with a retailer as a physical store. So we see Amazon trying to build these stores right now. We see other e-commerce suppliers trying to build different brick and mortar locations. Walmart has kind of the monopoly on that right now. So, but they're really investing this next year into e-commerce. So they got the stores down. So they're trying to build this e-commerce, and they're doing a really good job of it. 63% last quarter, 60% this quarter increases is a pretty big deal. Quadrupling the assortment is a pretty big deal. So now's the time to get into e-commerce and really focus on that. So if you haven't been focusing on that, it's time to get into e-commerce. It's not a thorn in the side. So categories most influenced by internet research right now are grocery. We saw that 1.4% of the US do grocery conversions online. It's this minuscule in relation to other countries. Apparel, home, furniture, technology, health and wellness. So there's always going to be stuff like eyeglasses that are big in stores, or tires that are going to be mainly sold in stores. That's where the majority of the conversion is going to be. But having this online, you never know if it's going to, if it could boom. And so like grocery, you don't think people are going to go on there and buy, buy all the groceries on. But Prime Pantry from Amazon is an amazing service. And if you think to the future and what the possibilities could be with Walmart, or what they could do with, if every store was like a little DC, grocery pickup's big. And with search engine optimization too, you got people that are going online searching in certain items, and you can use search engine optimization to bring other items up to influence sales, just like that last minute shelf before you go check out. So there's a lot of opportunity with Dotcom besides just sales. So eyes and ears in e-commerce is about, we need to focus wherever eyes and ears of the customers are. We need to focus. Okay, so mobile with anything online, people spending so much time on their phones, so much time on the internet researching. 5 hours a day is the average. And that's something that we need to focus on, that because it's where the eyes and ears of the coming generations are. And I think it's kind of going both ways. The coming generations and my generation spending 5 hours a day, I think we're influencing the older generations to do so as well. It used to be back in the day, it was like, 25 cents a text message when I was a kid. So I got my Motorola Razr, right? I hope that didn't give away my age. I'm sending text to all my friends, like, this is so cool, this is so cool. And then my dad gets a $300 bill, from text messages. And he flipped. And, so I remember I didn't have text messaging all through like junior high because I messed up. And so now my dad, he'll be on his phone all the time. I'm at dinner, I'm like, hey, socialize. Come on. And you look around and people are on their phones all the time. And it's an opportunity for marketing where we need to have tunnel vision on where the eyes and ears of the customers are. So the key is watch, learn, and reevaluate the shopping behaviors. So if we see this boom in e-commerce, we see this boom in grocery pickup, we see potential in US grocery pickup today, any of that click and collect, we need to put our focus there as well. Keep focusing on your store stuff, but it's a harmonious union, e-commerce and stores is brick and mortar. So omnichannel is something really we need to focus on. So understanding this ever-changing journey in retail and reaching these new types of shoppers is key. So if you don't embrace web rooming or showrooming, you're missing out. If you don't embrace search engine optimization and you're spending money on billboards, you're probably missing out. So we have a lot of opportunity with online and e-commerce to where we can increase sales, increase visibility, increase branding. I've worked with various amounts of suppliers, and some of them, they haven't been in stores, and they didn't get an option to be in stores. But we put their items online, and then buyers are now accepting these items into stores because of their online sales. I've had items that I've put on Walmart.com that start off brand new, like never had any sales, and then they're just taken off. I've had an item recently that had a special patent on it, okay? And it wasn't even in Walmart stores. We put it on Walmart.com, got a lot of attention, a lot of press about it because of the patent that it had, and it got a $15 million buyout offer on that patent. And we put that on Walmart.com. So there's so much visibility and opportunity there that we really need to focus on e-commerce, the omnichannel, and your stores. So, questions. I know you guys have a bunch of them about Walmart.com. I've already had a bunch of people ask questions about e-commerce already. But anything? Anybody have anything? Yes?
So I work for a playset manufacturer, and I've been live on Walmart for about 90 days. And I do business with a lot of internet accounts, but our slides are made in the U.S. And all of my slides got rejected at first when I set them up, and then said, well, what do they all have in common? They were made in the USA, so I went back and removed the content and pushed them through. So I was trying to get an answer from Walmart or anybody in the Walmart team as to why you guys don't approve made in the USA products or what kind of documentation you require. And I couldn't get an answer on it. Do you know what that's about?
So I had the same situation. So I have several items, and we put the Made in the USA, in the content. So it's just, for legality reasons, from what I've heard in communication, is that, unless there's some sort of proof, anybody can put that on the content. There's several instances on the news where, with different online retailers where people are uploading their content, and it really wasn't good what they were uploading. So anybody can go on there and upload that. So what Walmart did, and other Amazon or other online retailers did, is had a system of checks and balances when you start uploading content. And so what that would do is that would, if something like that would come up, the same thing with Works. So if you put a certain phrase or a certain word in there, it'll flag that and send it to Works. And same thing with that content. It'll keep it from going through if it's something that could cause a problem. So it's just that system of checks and balances that they put in Supplier Center.
Well, I believe it's kind of a strong selling point, but I never got an answer as to what is required so that I can add that as a bullet point or put it in the description.
So that's something that we can definitely connect on later, because there's some other things that we can do, or you could do, to increase that strong marketing, statement, but not necessarily saying that causes the flag. So we'll connect on that. My card's out there. I can give you a card afterwards, and we can discuss some other options. Yes?
When you're talking about like keywords and stuff, is it good or bad to use like competing companies' brand names as keywords, or is that like?
That's a lot of fun. I love doing that. It's not my favorite thing. So one of the first things I'll do whenever I do SEO audit on an item, or I recently did an SEO audit on about 2,300 items for Walmart.com. So we went through, we looked at each item, looked at each of their competitors, and then we decided which words were used for their competitor. And this was an item that was just introduced in the stores, okay? And so we went through, this whole catalog of items, SEO audited all of them, but then we look at each of their competitors. And one of these items out of them, it's about 9 different sizes. We put it in stores as a replenishable item. And so it only had one competitor in there. So we took the words from the competitor, and we took not the actual names of the competitor or the names of the competitor's item, but search words that were used to get to the competitor's website or to the competitor's SKU page, and implement that in there. So if it was like, if the competitor had a keyword like great tasting flavor, or something like that, then we would take that, because that wasn't, we wouldn't think of that being a word that was used to get to our item, and implement that on ours. So it's really good when doing SEO or search engine optimization to go and run the software on your competitors' items, or on different brands or different channels, and take those words that you might not have used or thought of, and implement them into your content.
But
So
if you're going to, say you sold nuggets, would you want to use the keyword Pampers?
I try to err on the side of caution with that. Just because I don't want to include other brands' names, into the SKU pages or hide it under images, because there are ways that you can hover over an image and see what words are used for that. And so I don't use, if I'm working with a company, I'm not going to use Pampers words on a Huggies page, so to speak, for an example. But I will use words that were used to get to the Pampers site or to the Pampers, page to draw traffic to the Huggies site, so to speak. Just more generic terms. So, any other questions? E-commerce, Walmart.com, Jet.com, item setup. Yes?
I think it's hard because of when you put up the percentage of the sales in e-commerce, right? So if I'm a smaller company and we've got limited resources, then from an online perspective, you know, Amazon is getting most of the resources for my company now in a sense, you know, so it's
Definitely.
kind of like fighting for that space. But I think kind of the message that you're saying too is there's a lot of content out there that maybe then you can just take and use from Walmart.com.
I'm glad you brought that up. So the way that the Google algorithm works and most search engines is the rule of thumb is your content needs to be 30% different versus other items or competing retailers or even on your own site. So if you're taking, say, you know, descriptions off of your website and you're copy pasting those into your Walmart content, that can actually dock you from being ranked. It can actually degrade your ranking. So what we do and what I do is I make sure that anytime I'm working with a client or working on an item, I'm taking that content and I'm customizing it to Walmart. I'm making it about 30% different than other retailers, than the brand itself on their website. And it can be a little difficult to do, but if you can do that, you'll drive so much more traffic. And that's one of the things we implemented on that case study I showed you that had a 4,332% increase in traffic. So we're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of views a day versus like a dozen for some of these sites. And these sites were selling more units than ours were. And so it's something where if you can really make that 30% difference, you can really bring yourself into the spotlight. And so a lot of people will say something like that. Oh, well, I want to go do, you know, paid advertising for Amazon or Walmart or whoever. But then if they have that content on there that's the same as on their manufacturer site or the same as on other retailers, you're really putting yourself at a disadvantage. So having content that's consumer focused on the customer you're trying to reach at Walmart versus, you know, Amazon or versus Jet is a big deal. So 30% difference is kind of the rule of thumb. So anything else? Yes.
Private label,
Yes.
is Walmart gonna do their fair share for their Dotcom in
So-
regards to what else is on the shelf?
Yeah, so private label is already on Dotcom. So I manage a lot of private label stuff already.
It's not on the top though. It's like on the third page.
Yeah, so it can kind of depend on search engine or so private label will be done in you know, laboratories or by different suppliers, and so they'll upload their own content. So I don't know for all private label SKUs who uploads the content, but I know for some of the ones that I manage, I'm uploading content for those, images, descriptions. Now, private label is also tricky with Supplier Center, and this is something if you do work with private label, sometimes you won't own the content. So if you've been in Supplier Center, they've added this new feature on there with the check marks, and if it's a gray check mark, you can't edit it. So there's been several times where I've went in to edit like content or images. I'm sure everybody else has tried to update images as well, and it doesn't reflect because you don't have rights to do that. So some of the ones I manage, I am able to upload the content because I was the initial and original uploader, but some that were uploaded by Walmart are kind of off limits from me. So what else? What else you got? Yes?
I kind of have two questions.
Okay.
On your case study, when you mentioned in the video and the banners, is that specifically on .com or were you using other platforms?
So it was, you talking our content versus the other content?
Yeah, was it when you said that you had like your video content and you were doing banners and all of that within your case study? Was that specifically, like, is your video content placed only on .com?
Yes.
Okay.
Only Walmart.com. So for that particular case study, it's kind of twofold. So it was to help land a really big client, which is really cool, and to disprove, you know, traditional marketing. And the other side of it was to also increase, you know, SEO and prove the case for this at you know, retailers, and how same content everywhere causes your items to go down in listing. So with that, we had free reign. So we did custom banners, custom everything. And the videos were, you know, we uploaded those. They weren't customized. They were just uploaded from the manufacturer. But yeah, I mean, having that in and of itself caused a huge jump in visibility and sales. So.
Then my other question is, on .com, and you can have product pages, can you have an actual, like one of my clients is a pretty huge client, but mostly in store. Product you usually see online. Can you create a brand page for that supplier, or does that have to live offsite and drive to .com?
So it depends on the category, but before you make a brand page, probably the most important thing you can do is brand your actual item. So going into that item, that specific SKU page, and enhancing that content and bringing that more visibility, and then you can go on to either the retailer or the manufacturer and talk about developing a brand page, at that retailer or manufacturer. Because if you're getting a lot of visibility and you go in there and say, hey, I'd like a brand page where, because if you do like a, advertising, paid advertising on most of these retailers, they'll give you a whole page to yourself with your items. So they'll click on a banner that says, $5 off if you buy 2 or something like that. And you click on that, it'll open up all your items. And so if you do this, so enhance your content first for the item and brand yourself on your item pages. And then afterwards, you can go on, I'd recommend going on to do, pay-per-click or different retailer advertising or, brand pages, which are usually paid, cost money. So. Yeah, any other questions? Yes?
What recommendations do you have to actually get content online? Because right now we're finding that, obviously you can use web collage, which although free, admittedly sucks. Horrible user experience.
No comment.
If you use a lot of these other companies, then it's an additional fee.
Yes.
And then if you use Supplier Center, you have various reliability of whether it actually publishes once you upload it. So it's like, we want content, okay, we have content,
definitely.
and you can't actually get it on unless you pay a company to do it.
Yeah.
So and that doesn't really work for a lot of small, honestly small suppliers.
So if you do use third-party providers, they can cost anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000 per item per year, anywhere in that range, sometimes more. So it depends on, there's just a wide range of what you can pay for these items depending on what you ask for them to do. Then you have free services, like you said, like web collage, which it's a great platform. I use it. I've used it for a long time. It takes a lot of work to get things to be organized and orderly and be aesthetically pleasing, but that's something that, if you do have experience in branding or graphic design, that's something you can do. Supplier Center is mainly used for basic content, but my recommendation is always start off doing your own content. The reason being is if you do use third-party providers, sometimes you can get locked out of your content and you won't be able to update it. And sometimes if you use, like a referred service or something like that, you can't edit it because it's going through a different API or a different API communication than, it's outranked from being able to edit it yourself. So I don't know if anybody's ever had any troubles with that where you uploaded through a third party and you weren't able to upload images or update anything. Has anyone had issues with that before?
They just disappear.
Yeah, or they just disappear. So if you ever do have an issue like that, that's something you do need to reach out to. If you get an email from a third-party content uploader and you would like to upload your own content, you need to send an email back to them. And this is very important because if this happens to you, you get locked out. Send an email back to them and say, I would like to upload my own content through Walmart. Can you please unhold my items? So if they have a hold on your items, you cannot upload your content because it's in their processing, if you get what I'm saying. Even if they just get the G10, no content, and they don't hear back from you, and then 3 months later you try to put content up there, you're stuck. And this is with most online retailers. But your best bet, start with Supplier Center. Upload the content. If you know how to write in HTML, I don't know if anybody knows how to do that. I'm kind of a nerd, I'm sorry. But if you write in HTML, write in full HTML in your Supplier Center, it'll increase your search engine optimization a lot. But anybody can use Supplier Center and Web Collage and get most of the content that they need done. There's a bunch of different SEO tools that you can use as well to get your content up there, to get keywords. But that's something we can discuss. Get my card, give me a call, and we can discuss the different platforms and methods that I've used to have a lot of success with content uploading without errors or timing out or them just vanishing, So what else? Any other questions? Yes?
We haven't gotten to the point yet, but when we do go to upload on Walmart.com, is Jet a separate platform, or do they talk together? I'm assuming they're two different platforms where you have to upload them in both.
So currently Walmart is the only one that is used with Supplier Center. So there is talks about the different branches all coming together as one. But I did some items the other day for both channels, and I had to upload separately. So I had to fill out a separate form for.
It's like an Excel form or something.
Yeah, I think it's called the Titan, is what I think it's called, and it's really, really purple. And so that's the one I uploaded for them, and I use Supplier Center for Walmart for everything that I do. But the plan is eventually it'll all come together as one, for content purposes. But different categories have different ways of doing things still, and so they're kind of shifting that around and figuring that out right now. So, but if you have questions with that later on, feel free to contact me, because that's something that can be a little confusing, where some of the columns can be labeled different things than what's on the other retailers, and so it's something that are different methods of uploading. Just to save you guys a lot of time and headache when you put your G10s in there, make sure that you take the G10s and then paste them in Notepad, and then copy them and paste them into your forms, and I'll make them go through every time. There's a lot of tips and tricks I can give you whenever you start uploading to help you with that.
We do a significant business on samsclub.com, and KDI only orders into our current system. Does the Walmart.com work the same way?
Yes, so it depends on the platform. I have different suppliers I work with that have used different EDI providers, but it's something when you do get your contract or you're finalized with that, that's something you'll have to test with Walmart.com as an EDI test order, and so you'll find out then. But discuss that with your buyer. I'm sure if they'll be able to work something out with that. So, anything else? .com. Do you have one? Yes.
Yeah, you talked a lot about content. What if your content is good, but it's not on Walmart, and in an 800-pound gorilla in the marketplace, and you do have good content, and you've done the work that you've talked about to create all of that amazing stuff, and then you want to put it on Walmart, how do you get to 17 different descriptions using the same content?
Yes. So that is where it gets a little tricky, and that's why people hire people like me to do that, is to copyright and then use different terms and reorganize different, I've had people give me a paragraph, and I was able to take that one paragraph and put the same thing on Amazon, Walmart, Jet, Walgreens, CVS, Chewy, all these different retailers. And it's just something where you'll have to maybe either have a third party copywriter go through and customize that to the way that they see fit for each marketplace. But that's a very tough thing to do, because you want it to be aesthetically pleasing, but the next thing you know, you're going to just be mixing it up and it's going to be awkward. But the problem is that search engines also look at the whole paragraph. So if you're just taking sentences and moving around, not going to work. So you got to start changing things. So one of the tips that I would recommend is if you do our multi-channel, different channels, say that this item is available or now available at Walmart, Walmart.com. Please pick up today, or use different phrasing you can think of that's Walmart specific, and use that to change your content, add a little bit, take a little bit away, and but always keep the Walmart customer and what they would be looking at for the item. I mean, for like a Jeep tire, when I think about that for Walmart, I'm not thinking about someone that's got a third vehicle that's wanting to get this Jeep tire on there to go mudding. I would think of that's more of an Amazon or Costco client, in my opinion. But for somebody that's buying the same tire, this off-road all-terrain tire at Walmart, I would be thinking it'd be somebody that's trying to get their kids to school in the snow, put it on their Tahoe, or someone that's going to do a little bit of mudding, maybe kind of, or something like that. Not necessarily a third, vehicle. So it's thinking about the customer base that you have and using market basket analysis, or different services that were talked about earlier. You can find out what those customers are and better market your material to the Walmart customer. Anything else? Any other?
I think this is different, but when you have the grocery pickup and you go online and order stuff through there, is that a different setup than just Walmart.com?
Yes. So you'll set the items as if they are set up on Walmart. I did this last week for a client. And so my particular client did not want to be sold online, but only be pick up today. Okay. So what I had to do is set it up online, reach out to the pick up today team at Walmart.com, and then reach out to the buyer at Walmart.com, and then tell them that this is only pick up today. It's not available on stores, but if you make sure that it doesn't go into store only item status and not pick up today. So it took about a week to get that all figured out with proper communication. So if you do need that, let me know. I can give you the contacts for that. So, anybody else? How am I doing on time, Amanda? Am I good? Okay. There's got to be more questions. E-commerce is a beast. Yeah.
If you have, say, 50 to 100 items that you want to get set up,
And the more you talk, the more complicated it sounds. Are you better off getting online through 50 to 100 with just average work and then refining it later? Or are you better off doing all this front-end work that sounds like it would take years?
My personal method, store items first. So omnichannel items are always first. Okay, so I'll take those, I'll upload those first to give those the best content and make sure those are golden. Okay. Secondly, if they are on different retailers, I'll see which ones are best selling on different retailers. Like if this one's selling like crazy on Amazon, I'll put it on Walmart. But the thing is if you start going to different channels like that, I don't want to steal my Amazon customers if they're on multiple retailers to Walmart. I don't want to steal my Jet customers on Walmart. So the key there is to, like I said, customize that content to a Walmart customer so I'm not stealing Amazon customers. Because if I'm working for a supplier and they're on all those different retailers, I don't want to lose, see the Amazon and I have the Amazon client manager calling me and then the Walmart one and I have to play favorites, so it's who's gonna buy me a glass of whiskey at the end of the day, I can't, so I need to make sure that, that's a big one for me is making sure that if they're on dual channels, I'm not stealing customers. And then after that, uploading, getting them live, the rest of the assortment, that's, when they ask for the rest of your assortment, I'll upload that last, and then I'll optimize that over time. These are related to the top 5 first items or whatnot and see how those are doing and then optimize accordingly. So, but 50 items, that's I got like 2,500 to get through next week. So you can do it. And if you need to contact, feel free to call me and I'll help you throughout the process. Yes.
On Walmart now, you see a lot of third-party sellers selling
Yeah.
stuff that vendors like myself are wanting to sell at Walmart.
Mhm.
How do vendors get those guys off of there?
Can't. So this is something I've had to deal with a lot of suppliers too. There's a few different methods. Contact me and we'll talk about that. So it's enforcing different policies as a supplier. Getting into more of a legal thing and say approved resellers, having a list of that, MAP policies, MAP pricing. So if people are underselling you or underselling your price in the buy box. But if you are an owned supplier at Walmart, you should be at the front. So yes.
So in the brick and mortar environment, in the Made in the USA strategy, they have the junk website that you have to go through and manage. Is there anything like that in the web environment?
Not yet. So it's something that, it's a lot of each retailers is kind of a work in progress with this. So I would recommend, kind of just waiting for that to come out, be approved and be a method that e-commerce uses.
Walmart did the packaging and it says it on there.
I think it's they kind of made it like a universal rule. And a lot of retailers are doing this that if nobody can put it on there, if we can't, because we want to be cautious and have something happen, then nobody can. Kind of get what I'm saying? So, yes.
We do refurbished Apple products.
Mm-hmm.
And if we take a certain model of, say, MacBook Pro, for example, and we have inventory, we want to put it in Walmart. If we don't have a UPC directly for it, so we try to find the appropriate one.
Okay.
If we search under the UPC IMDb site, there's like 15 different UPCs that match this product with different descriptions, but it's the same item.
Mm.
You take the model, you search on Walmart.com, there's 80 listings of that model computer. I mean, we pick one, do we create our own UPC and create an 81st listing?
Mm.
I mean, you can get into the code and find a G10 to get in the same listing as the one that's got 3 other marketplace sellers if you want.
Mm.
I mean, what's the right way to do that?
So that, my friend, is a very compacted question. So I think we, yeah, you asked me about works earlier too, and I told you not to ask a question about, EDI, yeah. I've already had a ton of questions outside, but yeah, I'm glad you didn't ask that question either. So we got 2 compacted questions we'll touch base on afterwards. Anybody else? Dotcom questions, omnichannel, yes.
So I have a client that's a large brand supplier who has a very small presence online.
Mm-hmm.
They also have noticed that there's
Yes.
Kind of advertising and pricing. What it is.
So that gets into map pricing. So suppliers can develop, manufacturer advertised pricing or minimum advertised pricing, and so nobody can advertise a price below what they set. So I have clients that have MAP, that have IU MAP because they want stores to be competitive, and so they have internet minimum advertised pricing as well. So developing a policy like that and then having an approved sellers list for that supplier can help maintain that strategy of keeping your pricing. Because I've had clients where the item was selling for $20 in store, and then it was selling for $11 online, and the cost was $12.06 hypothetically. And so they're selling below cost because the algorithms between Amazon, Jet, Walmart are all competing nonstop and just driving that price down. So this supplier that I worked with had to develop an internet minimum advertised price policy, get an approved sellers list, and anyone that sold that was not on that list was then requested not to sell. And I don't know what happened afterwards, but the prices got better. So, but those are some different methods you can take to prevent the pricing battle to bring you below a certain price and keep you at a pretty level ground. So, anybody else? Anything about content or SEO, setup, supplier center? Okay, so my cards will be out in the front. Feel free to give me a call. If you ever have any questions, I'm sure you will. And I'd love to guide you through the e-commerce process or help you out if you need your items to be listed. This is something I can always give you some tips and pointers to make that process a little bit easier and save you the headaches that I had to experience getting to where I am now, understanding the process. So really focus on this omni-channel and the potential growth we have, with Pickup Today, with using e-com as a marketing service. It's not just about sales on e-commerce. It's a very valuable tool to reach the next generations and to increase sales, but also branding and visibility. So, thank you.